Rahul Gandhi has been found guilty by the Surat court in defamation case pertaining to 2019. This is the big news coming in right now from Gujarat, where Surat court has found Rahul Gandhi, former Congress president, now Congress MP from Wayanad, guilty in the 2019 case where he made defamatory remarks against Modi's surname. This is once again being seen as a blow to Congress as of now. Rahul Gandhi, who is facing severe criticism in the parliament because of his comments outside the country on the democracy of India, now faces more heat as Surat court finds himself in hot waters. Kiran Rijiju is speaking. Let's listen in.
कांग्रेस के कुछ एमपीस और कांग्रेस के कुछ नेता मुझे बताया, आज भी बताया कि राहुल गांधी का जो रवैया है उसके वजह से सब खराब हो गया, उनके पार्टी भी डूब रहा है और साथ साथ में बाकी को भी नुकसान होता है.
This is the latest, once again, Kiran Rijiju, Law Minister, saying law taking its own course, and obviously there you see Rahul Gandhi leaving the Surat court complex. Earlier he was seen on the Surat airport. Now what repercussions is it going to have on Congress especially, and doesn't take much to understand that the kind of heat, the pressure that is being built on Rahul Gandhi from the ruling party BJP is something that has made headlines for the last few weeks. Parliament too hasn't been able to function. On one hand, the Adani case from the Congress side has seen acrimonious scenes, and on the other, BJP is unrelenting in its pressure and attacks on Rahul Gandhi as far as his remarks and apology pertaining to that remark in UK is concerned. Well, the latest we are getting, court has held Rahul Gandhi guilty of his controversial remark which was made at a Kolar rally against the Modi surname, and this has landed Rahul Gandhi in a soup, and now the court has found Rahul Gandhi guilty. Reactions are trickling thick and fast. Let's listen in.
कांग्रेस पार्टी का कहना है कि ये जो कमेटी है ये मोदी सरकार को क्लीन चिट दे देगी, जो अडानी सेंट्रिक गवर्नमेंट है उसको क्लीन चिट दे देगी.
मतलब ये देखिए ना, अति है, इसको कहते हैं अति. की अगर सुप्रीम माननीय उच्च न्यायालय, जिसको पूरा देश, इस लोकतंत्र पूरा देश सम्मान करता है, उनके डिसीजंस पर भी विरोधी पक्ष की मति मारी गई है. इसको कहते हैं बुद्धि भ्रष्ट, कि विश्वास इन लोगों को अपने स्वयं पर भी नहीं रहा, इनको अपनी पार्टी पे नहीं रहा.
So this obviously the BJP is now leaving no stone unturned, and obviously Rahul Gandhi will be saying the opposite. BJP is actually training its guns once again on Rahul Gandhi. These are visuals, obviously. Rahul Gandhi now going back, being seen at the airport when the Surat court has convicted him in the Modi surname remarks, something that obviously neither did Rahul Gandhi nor the Congress wanted at this point of time. But then this changes a lot of dynamics as far as the current onslaught of the BJP government is concerned on Rahul Gandhi. So this is the latest that we are getting in. Rahul Gandhi being convicted and also now facing more heat as far as his comments from 2019 over Modi's surname is concerned. A Surat court has convicted Rahul Gandhi, found him guilty in 2019 criminal defamation case filed against him for his alleged Modi surname remarks. Obviously, the Lok Sabha MP from Wayanad had allegedly made remarks while addressing a rally at Kolar in Karnataka ahead of the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. And remember, that election too made into the history for the exchange of words between Congress and the BJP, and at the end the BJP emerging victorious with unprecedented number of seats in 2019 elections. Now Rahul Gandhi, who is already cornered on several aspects as far as his comments in the UK, outside the country is concerned, and also BJP demanding an apology for his comments.
जिस तरह से पूरे समाज को या किसी के बारे में जिस तरह से कुछ ना कुछ बोल देते हैं, उनका अपने आप पे कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है, उन्हें पता नहीं चलता है कि क्या बोलना चाहिए क्या नहीं बोलना चाहिए. उन्होंने पूरे समाज को बदनाम करने का जो एक निवेदन किया था, उसकी वजह से नाराज होकर गुजरात के पूर्व कैबिनेट मंत्री और अभी एमएलए श्री पुनेश मोदी ने कोर्ट में केस किया था और कोर्ट का जजमेंट आया है और इस जजमेंट में उन्हें कन्विक्ट किया है। मुझे लगता है कि इसके बाद भी अगर उनमें कुछ सुधार हो तो अच्छी बात होगी देश के लिए भी। देश का भी बार बार वो अपमान कर चुके हैं, देश के लोग भी इसकी वजह से उनके ऊपर खफा है, उसका खामियाना उनको भुगतना पड़ेगा।
Well, joining us in the studio is News9 Live's legal editor Ashok Bagria. Ashok, how does one look at the verdict that is now coming from the Surat court? Help the viewers understand what are the counts of this verdict.
Well, as far as the Surat court is concerned, the charges against Rahul Gandhi were under section 504 of the Indian Penal Code. Now we have to understand what exactly does 504 of the Indian Penal Code say. Now section 504 of the Indian Penal Code, if I were to read it out, speaks about intentional insult with an intent to breach peace. So basically it says that whoever intentionally insults by the way of words, writing, which has the propensity or tendency to cause public disorder or disturbance will be guilty of the offence under 504, and the maximum punishment for an offence and for this offence of 504 is jail term of up to 2 years, or even the magistrate could decide to impose just a fine and let that person free. So this is what 504 of the Indian Penal Code says, and I'll just repeat it once again for the understanding of our viewers, is that it says that whoever says something or writes something with the intention that his speech or writing will disturb public order or cause disturbance, that person will be held guilty under section 504. And this section speaks that this is an intentional attempt on the part of the accused to disrupt public order or cause breach of peace.
Well, and at the same time, Ashok, you know, how does one look at the impact this will now have on Rahul Gandhi? The verdict is now out. What kind of impact is the court verdict going to have on Rahul Gandhi right ahead of some crucial elections, and the kind of pressurizing and cornering tactics that the BJP is using, has been using? But let's cut right across to some reactions that are also coming.
और जब पूरे समाज ने इकट्ठा होके जब ये तय कर लिया है तो ये पता चल गया। आज देखिए यहाँ पे जो हंगामा हम क्वेश्चन आंसर चलाना चाहते थे, वो मांग कर रहे थे कि राहुल गांधी को बोलने दिया जाए। अगर अभी बोल देते कि हाँ बोलने दे तो वो तो हाजिर ही नहीं थे। तो जो हंगामा खड़ा किया था, जो नियम के तहत उनको जो डिमांड करनी चाहिए, कहाँ पे भी जाके कुछ भी बोलना, और सूरत के साथ साथ में पूरी कम्युनिटी जो है ओबीसी समाज में जिसका
Well, yeah, let's cycle back to Ashok. Ashok, the impact of this verdict on Rahul Gandhi, given the current political scenario in the country?
Well, things are still playing out in the courtroom at the moment, Kabir.
Right.
The court has prima facie found that whatever Rahul Gandhi said to the effect, saying that why does everybody with the surname Modi is a criminal in this country. Now, this remark was made by Rahul Gandhi.
Well, there's a reaction coming from a lawyer. Sorry to cut you in. Let's cut right across to it.
आज का राहुल जी को आईपीसी के कलम 490 ने और 500 के नीचे सजा सुनाई गई है, उसको कन्विक्शन कर दिया है और 2 साल की सजा फरमाई गई है, 2 साल की सजा दी गई है और उसको जो 2 साल की सजा है कोर्ट ने सस्पेंड कर दिया है 30 दिन के लिए सस्पेंड कर दिया है और जामीन दे दिया है।
ઓકે, તો જામીન છે ગાંધીને આપવામાં આવી ચૂક્યા છે અને ત્યારબાદ પરિષદ છે
reaction that is coming across from the lawyer right outside the Surat court premises as well. Rahul Gandhi's visuals, with a lot of fanfare, he was welcomed. The court has pronounced its verdict, sections 499 and 500 as well. We are tracking the latest developments as well. In the studio, of course, with us, legal editor Ashok Bagria continues to be with us. We're going to continue to probe the kind of impact this verdict will have, but reactions coming across.
लेकिन अपील कोर्ट पर विश्वास है पार्टी को और जस्टिस पे विश्वास है। कोर्ट का ये जजमेंट पे अभी हमें कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करनी, पर अपील कोर्ट में वी हैव ट्रस्ट कंप्लीटली।
आज क्या हुआ, कोर्ट में गए तो
कोर्ट में वो आए और उन्होंने पहले कन्विक्टेड कहा और बाद में फिर पनिशमेंट 2 इयर्स डिक्लेयर किया ऑनरेबल जज ने। आगे तो कोई टिप्पणी नहीं की और रिटर्न जजमेंट अभी वो दे रहे हैं। दे विल प्रोड्यूस रिटर्न जजमेंट।
Well, right. At the same time, it's important to look at what happened in 2013 as well, when that ordinance was completely torn apart, and what happens to Rahul Gandhi's membership of the lower house of the parliament as well, and the impact this verdict will now have on the proceedings and the political steps Rahul Gandhi was and has been planning, the Congress's next couple of steps as well. To throw more light on that, Ashok Bagria with us in the studio. Ashok, the impact and the membership of the Lok Sabha, all of that is going to now be under question. Your viewpoint?
Well, we just heard one of the lawyers who stepped out from the courtroom, and he informed us that Rahul Gandhi has been convicted for criminal defamation under section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code. He also said that he has been sentenced by the Surat court to undergo imprisonment for 2 years. Now, this is really important. This 2-year term or the sentence which has been passed against Rahul Gandhi is important because the Supreme Court in 2011, by the way of its judgment in the Lily Thomas case, has held that any member of parliament, legislative assembly or legislative council, if he or she is convicted or held guilty of an offence for which the sentence passed is 2 years or more, they stand to lose the membership of the house immediately. So now what really happens is that, considering that the Surat court has sentenced him to 2 years, Rahul Gandhi stands to lose the membership of the Lok Sabha with immediate effect. Now, this is the big thing. And more interestingly, Kabir, I would like to point out that after the 2011 verdict of the Supreme Court, an attempt was made by the Manmohan Singh government to bring in an ordinance which would undo the impact of the Lily Thomas judgment, and Rahul Gandhi, then as the vice president of the Congress party, had torn that ordinance, calling it nonsensical. And today that particular judgment of the Supreme Court has come to bite him. Had he not done that and Manmohan Singh government had passed that ordinance, probably his seat, his membership of the Lok Sabha would have been saved today.
And at the same time, this is what we're learning. Of course, details are sketchy as they're coming in, and we must tread carefully. But 2 sureties have been presented for his bail proceedings. Those bail proceedings have begun. How confident do you think is Rahul Gandhi going to be, given the bail proceedings have begun now?
Well, looking at the sentence, what happens is that anybody who gets a sentence up to 2 years, the courts immediately release the convict on bail. So there's no question that Rahul Gandhi, even though he's been held guilty and sentenced to undergo imprisonment of 2 years term, he will be granted bail by the lower court so as to facilitate him to appeal against this verdict of the magistrates court before a higher court. So there's no doubt he will be released on bail, but the impact of that judgment, the big impact of this judgment is Rahul Gandhi immediately ceases to be a member of parliament from Wayanad.
Do you think that could be, the bigger play behind the screens, you know, basically pull Rahul Gandhi out of the equation altogether, even as we're looking at live visuals that are coming across from Surat. Do you think there's a larger game at play here now that Rahul Gandhi ceases to be a member of the Lok Sabha?
Well, it's really difficult to impute any kind of motives to the judiciary, whether it's the lower judiciary or the higher judiciary. But yes, politically, the Bharatiya Janata Party will be really glad, because for the last few days, Rahul Gandhi has been a thorn in the side of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because the proceedings in the parliament had been stalled by the Congress party. Moreover, considering that
let's listen into this reaction, Ashok, real quick.
कांग्रेस का लीडर भी हूँ।
आज कोर्ट में किस तरह की कार्रवाई की गई, क्या सजा हुई और फिर आगे आप लोगों की क्या प्रतिक्रिया रही?
कोर्ट को आज ज्यादा मतलब सुनवाई की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं थी। जो प्रोसीजर है, तो जैसे राहुल जी कोर्ट रूम में एंटर हुए, 2 मिनट के बाद कोर्ट ने सजा सुना दी कि मैं आपको आईपीसी के कलम 499 और 500 के तहत आपको गुनहगार करार देता हूं। बाद में उससे पूछा गया कि तुम्हारे सजा के बारे में क्या कहना है, तो राहुल जी ने ये बताया कि मैंने पॉलिटिकल लीडर की हैसियत से जो करप्शन देश में हो रहा है उसको खुला करना ये मेरी प्राथमिक फर्ज है, इसके अलावा मैंने कुछ नहीं किया। फिर दलील हुई हमारे जो राहुल जी के ओर से एडवोकेट अपेयर था, उन्होंने बताया कि हम कोई कोर्ट की माफी नहीं मांग रहे, हमें कोर्ट की कोई दया नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन जो कुछ हुआ है वो हमारी फर्ज के मुताबिक हमने किया है और मिटिगेटिंग सर्कमस्टेंसेस भी बताए। और उसके बाद कंप्लेंट के वकील ने दलील की उसके मैक्सिमम सजा होनी चाहिए, और दोनों की दलील सुनने के बाद कोर्ट ने 2 साल की सजा सुना दी। सजा माफी की मुलतवी की जो है उनकी एप्लीकेशन दी गई और सेंटेंस से सस्पेंड कर दिया गया और 30 दिन का टाइम दिया गया कि आप अपील कर लो, और जामीन लेके उनको छोड़ दिया गया।
आगे की क्या प्रक्रिया की जाएगी?
आगे 30 दिन के अंदर अपील करनी है।
और किन किन आईपीसी के तहत ये सजा सुनाई गई है?
499 और 500।
गाड़ी साइड में लगा दौड़ता जी, नहीं कब दौड़ता नहीं।
Well, so 499 and 500 of the IPC. These are particular sections that have been slapped on Rahul Gandhi. Imprisonment term of 2 years as part of that particular verdict. He has been granted bail at this point in time, 30 days for him to appeal before a higher court as well. Ashok Bagria, legal editor, still with us in the studio. Ashok, 499 and 500. Could you help the viewers understand what these particular sections of the IPC are?
Well, as far as 499 of the Indian Penal Code is concerned, it deals with defamatory remarks. So, section 499 says that whoever speaks or publishes any writing which has an impact of defaming a person in the eyes of the society, he or she will be punished by the Indian Penal Code. So, but this defamation, defamatory remarks on the part of the accused have to be intentional. They don't have to be in good faith, but the tendency of the words should be such that they cause irreversible damage to the reputation of an individual. Now, this particular section of the Indian Penal Code was designed to protect the reputation of persons from slander or libel. Now, slander is basically something defamatory which is spoken, whereas libel is something which is written, defamatory comments which are written. So, the Indian Penal Code under section 499 protects the reputation of a person. Here in this particular case also, the allegation against Rahul Gandhi was that he had made remarks suggesting that why every person with Modi surname in the country is a criminal, and there was somebody who had filed a criminal suit against him saying this was defamatory, and this particular proceedings today has come to an end. The Surat court where these proceedings were held has found Rahul Gandhi of intentionally making this kind of a speech and hurting the reputation of a person He's been sentenced to 2 years in jail. However, the lawyers who stepped out from the courtroom have said that the court, while has sentenced Rahul Gandhi to 2 years in jail, they have stayed their sentence, that the sentence of 2-year imprisonment shall not come into effect for another 30 days, giving Rahul Gandhi a chance to appeal against this magistrate court's order before a higher court.
Right, and BJP MLA Purnesh Modi was the complainant in this particular case. Let's not forget, in the recently held assembly elections in Gujarat, he has retained his seat yet again, and the complaint was made in 2019 when he was part of the erstwhile Bhupendra Patel version 1.0 government. But at the same time, Ashok, the arguments presented by Rahul Gandhi inside the court, that it wasn't his intention to defame a particular community. It's his job as a political leader to, bring about the truth. How confident were those arguments? Was there any weightage in those arguments at all? And we'll take that question. But before that, Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi reaction coming from him.
एक्सपोजर भी होगा और उसमें जो है वो जो कानून है अपना काम भी करेगा. दिक्कत यह है कि आज तो पूरी दुनिया तो आर्थिक मंदी से जूझ रही है और ये अपने दिमागी तंगी से जूझ रहे हैं. तो दुनिया की आर्थिक तंगी की तो मंदी की जो समस्या है उसका समाधान तो हो जाएगा. इनके दिमागी जो तंगी और मंदी आ गई है इनके दिमाग में, उसका समाधान तो देश की जनता करेगी या कानून करेगा. और अनफॉर्चुनेटली जनादेश में पिटे हुए लोग हुड़दंग और हंगामे से पार्लियामेंट को हाईजैक करना चाहते हैं. तो ये आप ये समझ लें कि आपको जनता ने जनादेश में पीट दिया है, तो आप जनता से बदला लेने के लिए हुड़दंग और हंगामे से पार्लियामेंट को हाईजैक करने की जो कोशिश कर रहे हैं उसमें सफल नहीं होंगे.
So that was the reaction coming across from Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi. Just to give, refresh the memories of all the viewers out there. Rahul Gandhi, he's been sentenced to 2 years of imprisonment, but that has been stayed at the moment. He's been given 30 days time to appeal in front of a higher court on this particular verdict. Sections 499 and 500 of the IPC that have been slapped on the Congress MP. There are questions about the impact this will have on the Congress's strategy this year and ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha polls, and also, of course, the membership of Rahul Gandhi of the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the parliament, is now under question as well. Joining us in the studio is also political editor of News9, Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, how are you looking at the developments coming out of Surat? He was welcomed with a huge fanfare, but the story has suddenly changed. It's a stark contrast.
Well, I mean, he was definitely received with fanfare because, the Congress would want to project him as somebody who is taking on Modi and is not afraid to face the consequences. This was something which was kind of much on the expected line. It was a remark not made in good sense, if I may say so, because you cannot compare, even if Prime Minister is your political opponent, you cannot say that why all the thieves are they have Modi surnames. It's a completely inappropriate remark, and this is the reason why a BJP MLA filed this criminal defamation case against Rahul Gandhi and has been found guilty. I think the sentencing is of 2 years, and this is the reason why he would be eligible for bail as well, giving time to appeal to a higher court. Ashok would be able to shed more light on the intricacies of the legalities as far as this particular case is concerned. But I think politically it is not going to augment Rahul Gandhi's stature, if I may say so.
And at the same time, the credibility that has been under question for Rahul Gandhi, it seems like it's another nail in the coffin for Rahul Gandhi, isn't it, Brijesh?
Well, I won't call it another nail in Rahul Gandhi's coffin, but these kind of remarks are something which is to be completely avoided when you are fighting a battle of perception. The fact that if you use something when you are fighting to get a toehold in the politics of Gujarat, where you are one of the key opposition party as far as the BJP is concerned, who is in the power for a long time. I think at that when you're caught at that juncture, you should avoid making these kind of remarks, because any party can use this to do a counter narrative of how you are insulting to the people of Gujarat, how you are insulting the one particular caste, and how you trying to insult Modi to a level which is like not in the sync as or the way that should have been perceived otherwise.
And joining us on the broadcast is also senior journalist Sanjeev Singh. Let's try and put ourselves in the shoes of Rahul Gandhi and the Congress at this point in time. Sanjeev, do you think in this battle of perceptions and political narratives, the narrative and the idea of Rahul Gandhi being hushed, being shushed up inside the parliament and outside is going to gain any kind of weightage?
It's too early to say right now, but definitely if the Congress party has good political managers, they can extract a lot of political mileage from this. But given the past and the way, the Congress has gone about dealing with issues, there is a question mark on whether the Congress will be able to politicize or use this issue in a way in which it helps them politically, because there are still many issues that opposition parties can raise, but fortunately or unfortunately they've not been able to damage or put any dent in that in popularity of Narendra Modi. So therefore that is why there is a big question mark. And even earlier, a few years earlier, when the entire Rafale deal was under a question mark, and that time Narendra Modi had started the Main Bhi Chaukidar campaign, and that had totally boomeranged on the Congress. So it also depends on who they're playing with and how they plan to use this issue in a political manner. Maybe the BJP is in a better position to use this issue and show Rahul Gandhi in poor light. So that's the whole question right now. But it is an opportunity for the Congress. But given their past, there is a big question mark on whether they will be able to utilize this and mobilize people in their favor.
All right. And Ashok, circling back to that idea of the weightage of his arguments inside the court, where Rahul Gandhi is talking about his intent, that his intent was not to target a particular community. Throw some light on, how, what kind of weightage those arguments might have had inside the court.
Well, as far as Rahul Gandhi's defense is concerned, he today also tried to explain his speech, saying that it was a political statement aimed at criticizing the people who had fled the country after taking loans. So he tried to justify his statements by saying that this was a fair political comment. Now, as far as Section 499 and 500 are concerned, they have come under the scrutiny of free speech activists who have been hitting out.
Sorry to cut you short here. We've got the complainant's reaction coming across.
कोलार में कांग्रेस के तत्कालीन प्रमुख श्रीमान राहुल गांधी द्वारा जो सभा आयोजित की गई, उनमें उनका भाषण था, सभी चोरों का उपनाम मोदी क्यों, और भी ढूंढो कितने मोदी निकलेंगे। इस अनुसंधान में यहां सूरत की कोर्ट में फरियाद की गई। आज उनका जो फैसला आया है, मैं उस फैसला का स्वागत करता हूं।
क्या कुछ कहा कोर्ट में, क्या कुछ कहा गया? राहुल गांधी आप भी अंदर थे, जज ने क्या कहा? राहुल,
देखिए, ये कोर्ट का न्यायिक प्रक्रिया है, जो भी फैसला है उनका भी स्वागत करता हूं।
Well, so BJP MLA Purnesh Modi, the complainant in 2019, giving us a reaction. Let's go across back to Ashok. Ashok, do go on with your thoughts.
Well, as I was saying that before we went into the bite, that as far as Section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code is concerned, it's come under a lot of scrutiny of the human rights and free speech activists who believe that this is a section which exists in the Indian Penal Code which curbs free speech, or rather free political speech. Now what this section 499 does is it criminalizes speech which has the effect of defaming the other person. Now, in a situation like this, the one in which Rahul Gandhi is confronted is a very ideal case study to look into the impact of 499 and whether Section 499 should be struck off the Indian Penal Code or rather decriminalized, is the fact that what happens to free speech will this more often than not, Section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code has been used as a weapon against their political opponents, and this seems to be the case with Rahul Gandhi also, that he has been found guilty by a court in Surat, saying that his speech or rather his remark on why people with all people in India with Modi surnames are criminals had defamed or caused damage to the reputation of Pranesh Modi. This is a little contentious issue at the moment. There are bound to be questions which will be asked whether Section 499 has to be decriminalized or struck off the penal code, because it has a tendency to stifle free speech. However, the legal position is that the Supreme Court has in the past held that merely because a provision of law is being misused by the government or the state governments cannot be a ground for striking it down. So here also in Section 499 also, just because it's being misused by the central government or few state governments headed by the Bharatiya Janata Party, cannot be a ground for striking it down. But it will definitely set tongues wagging, where again there will be a debate on defamation and free speech, how this offense of defamation curbs free speech in a democracy like India.
And well, away from the legal tussle, Sanjeev, give us a sense about what you were talking about, the lack of political managers within the Congress. Now that his membership, Rahul Gandhi's membership of the Lok Sabha is under question, what do you think are some options that the Congress has to re-strategize?
Well, way back in 2005 or 2006, there was the Office of Profit Controversy, in which Sonia Gandhi had to give up her Lok Sabha seat in Raebareli. And at that time, she was very aggressive, and she said after the verdict came that I will contest from Raebareli and I will show them that I'm not scared of them. And she had fought the election and won by a margin of more than 3 lakh votes from the home turf of Raebareli. So if you look at it politically, it is a very good opportunity for the Congress. Now remember, this Congress is not the Congress what it used to be during Sonia Gandhi's time in 2005 and 2006. Even if it means that Rahul Gandhi has to let go of his membership from the Lok Sabha, he can always, depending on what happens now, are they going to, if there is an option available where they can challenge this verdict and get some sort of a stay where he can contest, the by-election, that will set the tone. Because if there is a by-election in Wayanad, more or less, it's pretty clear that, Rahul Gandhi is likely to be re-elected again. So that should not be a problem for the Congress. And that can set the tone for the Congress to say that, look, Rahul Gandhi did not budge from his position. And he is the only leader who's taking on Modi. And he has shown that despite, having to relinquish his Lok Sabha seat, the people of Wayanad are with him and they voted him back if that election happens. So it is a political opportunity for the Congress. And we've seen the Congress of the past actually use such opportunities to their political advantage. But given the current lot and the way things are, I don't think the Congress is in a position at the moment to take full advantage of it. Because remember that in 2019, when during the elections, just before the Lok Sabha elections, there was this whole talk about corruption in the Rafale deal. And that time, Narendra Modi had shown the way. He had stepped up and he had started the entire Main Bhi Chaukidar campaign, and people had changed their display pictures and they all stood with him. So even though that entire campaign of corruption was started by Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party, eventually it was Narendra Modi and the BJP which turned out to be winners. Similarly, the Congress can play the victim card and Rahul Gandhi can play the victim card in this case as well. But there are question marks on whether they will be able to outmaneuver the BJP politically on this issue. Because remember that, Narendra Modi's fan following, not just in the country, especially in Gujarat, is huge. Then there is the whole thing about, the Modi surname, as Brijesh was pointing out, the entire OBC classes. So there is a lot at stake which the BJP can mobilize to their advantage. So the onus will be on the Congress on how they can use this. And given the past of them having to deal with the BJP under Narendra Modi, there are a lot of question marks on whether the Congress will be able to utilize this opportunity to their advantage or not.
Well, Brijesh, over the last 6 months, apart from the Bharat Jodo Yatra, it seems like on the Libra scales, the defeats of the Congress outweigh the victories of the Congress by a huge margin. If Sanjeev Singh's statements are anything to go by, do you think it's going to be like a firecracker kind of a situation at the BJP headquarters? They're certainly happy, but do you think they're going to be able to mobilize?
Well, absolutely. They have nothing to lose. See, the point is that the remark which Rahul Gandhi made is something which the BJP can very easily weaponize. They can start a campaign. They can start a reach out thing saying that that the OBCs which the otherwise Congress party says that we respect them, and here is their ex-president and current member of parliament and the most important person in the Congress party, and this is exactly what he feels as far as the surname is concerned. The statement was not made in a good jest is a completely different thing, but the statement was also not politically sound as far as the state of Gujarat is concerned, because if you want to counter Modi, if you are at somewhere near the pinnacle of your political career and you are making these kind of statement, I can still understand. But for a party which is fighting to get a toehold in the politics of Gujarat in various other states, these kind of statements are definitely not which gets you eyeballs, which gets you good things happening your way. And the time of, as Sanjeev was very aptly pointing out, the time of Sonia Gandhi was something which was completely different. She was a fighter. She knew how to handle the entire UPA thing, and she was one of the key reasons why UPA survived, UPA 1, UPA 2 survived without any major faux pas. But Rahul Gandhi is yet to display the same level of political maturity, same level of political tenacity.
Well, Brijesh, sorry to cut you short here. We've got another reaction.
499 और 500 के तहत दोषी पाया है, और राहुल गांधी जी को सेक्शन 500 के तहत 2 साल की सजा सुनाई है. कायदे में ऐसा प्रोविजन है कि जब आरोपी अपील में जाना चाहते हैं ये ऑर्डर के अगेंस्ट में, तो नामदार कोर्ट को एप्लीकेशन टेंडर करता है, अपील पीरियड तक उनकी सजा सस्पेंड की जाए और उनको जमानत दी जाए. तो राहुल गांधी जी की तरफ से उन्होंने बेल पे रिलीज होने के लिए एप्लीकेशन टेंडर की थी और सजा सस्पेंड करने के लिए कोर्ट को विनती की थी. कोर्ट ने 30 दिन, जो कायदे में प्रोविजन है, 30 दिन का टाइम उनको दिया है अपील के लिए.
अगर 30 दिन पे अपील नहीं कर रहा है
तो फिर ये सजा के लिए उनको हाजिर रहना पड़ेगा कोर्ट में.
तो ये जो जमानत मिली है वो
30 दिन के लिए जमानत मिली है. विद इन 30 days ही हैज टू फाइल एन अपील, एंड उपली कोर्ट से, सेशन कोर्ट से जमानत पे रिहा होना पड़ेगा उनको. दैट इज बेसिक प्रिंसिपल एंड दैट इज प्रोसीजर.
इंग्लिश में बता दीजिए पूरा डिटेल.
नाउ टुडे राहुल गांधी हैज बीन कन्विक्टेड बाय चीफ जुडिशियल मैजिस्ट्रेट.
Well, so 30 days for him to appeal, otherwise 2 years of imprisonment as well. Brijesh, do you think we've come to a time, because in the recent past, this is the second time that Rahul's words have come back to bite him. Should the leader now stay away from mics and podiums? Is that the way it's going to be now?
No, I don't think you can ask a political leader to stay away from the podium and mics. But the point is that the particular leader has to also exhibit a degree of political maturity. There are certain situations where first you have to rise up to the occasion, and then you start demanding the kind of respect which you feel you should get. And I think the Congress is in absolute disarray. They are the nadir of their political existence. The party is fighting, is kind of facing existential crisis. And in middle of all these, these kind of remarks and these kind of, especially playing on a pitch in which where BJP has mastered that pitch, which is a pitch of nationalism or saying anything against Modi, which has harmed Congress party several times in the past, will once again harm the Congress party, because Modi and especially BJP, they are past master in turning these kind of wild remarks into their favor. They can start saying that whatever Rahul Gandhi says, but this is the kind of feelings he has for the OBC community in Gujarat. Congress is desperately trying to make a comeback, and we saw what happened this time. And going by the trends and situation, in 2024, Gujarat looks no different. And this is the time, I think, that the Congress party, as many would agree, should do a course correction, and should try to focus more energy on in the areas which would win them elections, rather than making remarks and living under the glory of it for a few minutes.
And Sanjeev, you made those comments that Rahul Gandhi is one of the only political leaders that are, raising their voice against the Prime Minister. But at the same time, he doesn't seem to be, getting it right at the moment. Do you think the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's shield is breachable at all? Well, Sanjeev, are you still with us? Well, it seems like we've lost a connection with Sanjeev. We're going to take that question to our political editor in the studio. But before that, Ashok, any legal procedure at Rahul Gandhi's disposal, some way, some loophole that he could possibly save his membership now?
I would in fact like to ask Ashok one more question that we saw, how Abdullah Azam's MLA-ship went away. The second he was convicted and given a sentence of 2 years, within few weeks, within couple of weeks, his MLA, he was removed from the post of MLA. So do you think the same happening in the case of Rahul Gandhi also, or does he has a legal protection till the High Court hears his case?
Well, there's no legal protection. That was the situation prior to 2013. Now, the law before 2013 was that even if you are convicted of an offence, until and unless you had exhausted the final judicial remedy, that is the Supreme Court of India, your seat was not declared to be vacant, or you were not disqualified from holding the membership of the House. But in 2013, the Supreme Court, in the Lily Thomas judgment, made it very clear that the moment a member of Parliament, a member of Legislative Assembly, or a member of Legislative Council is convicted of an offence of more than 2 years, 2 years or more than 2 years, they stand to lose the membership of the House with immediate effect. Now, this is a process. What happens is that after the conviction, the order of the court is sent to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, from which Rahul Gandhi is a member of the Parliament, and the Speaker decides, this Speaker will take a call and issue a notification suspending Rahul Gandhi as a member of Parliament from Wayanad. However, all said and done, Brijesh, what I feel is that this particular judgment of the Surat court, on the face of it, legally seems to be very bad. Very bad.
Can you elaborate on this, Ashok?
Is a very bad judgment for the simple reason that if you look at the defamation law was framed or was introduced in the Indian Penal Code to protect the reputation of persons and individual persons. And it was made clear in the section 499 of the Indian Penal Code that if you make a defamatory remark against a against a group of people, it is not actionable. So I'll just illustrate that point. So if I say all lawyers in this country are thieves, this statement is not considered to be defamatory because it's a generic statement. I am not making a statement against a particular lawyer. But however, if a lawyer goes to the court and takes me to the court and says that Ashok has made a statement saying that all lawyers in this country are thieves, then that will not be actionable. However, in this particular case, the court seems to have taken cognizance of a generic statement made by Rahul Gandhi, where Rahul Gandhi says that all thieves in this country have Modi surname. Now, what is interesting to see here is that how did Pranesh Modi make out a case saying that this particular generic remark made by Rahul Gandhi was targeted at him, and it resulted in a loss of his reputation in the eyes of the public, and that loss of reputation is irreparable, and the scales of justice will only be balanced if he is sent to jail. So on the face of it, looking purely at it legally, it looks that this is a bad judgment, because the Surat court seems to have turned a blind eye to the most preliminary thing which is taught in the law schools, is a crime of defamation is only actionable, or an offense of defamation or a case of defamation is actionable only if it is made against an individual person and not to a generic class, or an action for defamation is
जनता को सच बताना हमारा काम है। पार्लियामेंट मेंबर होके हम सभी लोग, सभी पार्टी के लोग एक होकर ये मांग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये जो डिक्टेटर गवर्नमेंट है, ये ना डेमोक्रेसी को मानती है, ना चर्चा को मानती है, ना इंक्वायरी को मानती है। सिर्फ वो चाहते हैं कि उनकी बात चले और लोकतंत्र के हिसाब से, संविधान के हिसाब से वो चलना नहीं चाहते हैं।
Well, so Mallikarjun Kharge over there mounting another charge against the ruling government of the day. Also joining us on the broadcast is Daniel Francis, political analyst, and Ashwini Kumar Dubey, advocate for the Supreme Court. A very warm welcome on the broadcast. Ashwini, if you were, listening to what Ashok was, talking about, would you echo on the same lines, the semantics of how this case was particularly made up?
See, there are two aspects. One, when court found somebody guilty under a provision for violating a law of the land is the section 499/500 deals with the defamation. Defamation means if somebody knowingly, voluntarily has made a statement which is disreputing other person's image, then person has a right to go to the court. So this is not a political case. This is the case where court found the evidences as per which Mr. Gandhi has made a knowingly statement which is contrary to the law and which has disreputed saying all the Modis are thieves. The common surname is thieves. This is one. Second, now the second aspect, the Representation of People Act. The another law of land is section 8 subsection 4 of Representation of People talks about the disqualification of members. So meaning thereby if anybody who has been convicted for more than 2 years or more than that, then he will cease to be the member of either of the house, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So this is the two aspects. Second, the basic object for this quashing section 8 subsection 4 of Representation of People Act, that a number of criminals get elected in the state, central legislation and member of, and parliament, and in order to make the parliament free from criminalization, free from the people who have a criminal antecedents, this law was quashed. And the second, the section 499/500, the exact punishment is 5 years. And what has happened if we see the statistics, the Association for Democratic Reforms for 2004 says that the 24% of the MLAs has criminal cases pending against them, and that was in 2009 30%. Which is increasing day by day. So if we are part of the progressive society, then the number of criminal cases would have been reduced. But what is exactly happening? The people who have a criminal antecedents or a criminal background, they are being elected. So Supreme Court, in fact, Justice Nariman says that the winnability should not be a criteria. Political parties will see that whether a person who has a criminal background should not be elected. Now, second, now talks about the Surat judgment. Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution of India categorically says that one has a right to freedom of speech and expression. But at the same time, Article 19 subclause 2 also says that freedom of speech and expression should be used in a dignified manner. There is a limit. There is a borderline. One should not cross the borderline. Moment you cross the borderline, either if it is creating rift in the society, then it will be a section 153 of the criminal Indian Penal Code. If it is disreputing somebody's image, then section 499/500. If two groups are clashing because of that, then other offenses which are under the Indian Penal Code should be invoked. So here the court in 2019, when complaint was filed, after leading the evidence, found that Mr. Gandhi's remark was contrary to the law of the land, and section 499/500 IPC has been rightly invoked. Now he has a right to appeal. 30 days time has been given. The sentence has been suspended for 30 days. He can statutory appeal right he has. He can go there. But one politician, whosoever is member of parliament, who has been elected by the public, one should behave in a dignified manner. We expect our politicians who are lawmakers that they should not use the word which is derogatory, which is creating rift in the society, which is you are not only making an allegation against the honorable Prime Minister, but this statement has made all the Modis thieves.
Mr. Dubey, can I interject for a moment? Now we are speaking of conviction under section 499, which is defamation. Now, defamation law, if you read the definition of the defamation law, it says that an offense of defamation is only made out if there is a reference, there is a direct reference to an individual. Generic references are not actionable under the defamation law. So I'll give you an example that if I say all lawyers in this country are thieves. I don't commit an offense of defamation until and unless one particular lawyer of the lawyer community can prove it in the court of law that my remark was aimed at him, and the people who he produces as witnesses in the court are able to prove that yes, what I said was aimed at one particular lawyer. Only then an offense of defamation is made out. Now here, in the case of Rahul Gandhi also, he's made a generic statement. He's made a generic reference to people with Modi surnames. Now, I find it difficult to believe, or I do not agree with the argument or with the conclusions of the Surat court, when the Surat court says that he is indeed committed an offense of defamation, when everybody says a generic reference to people or a generic defamatory statement is not actionable. How do you defend that, Mr. Dubey?
Sir, first, that the court, the magistrate's court, which is empowered under the Criminal Procedure Code to look into the allegations, to look into the evidences, and based on those evidences has found that the statement which was made by Mr. Gandhi was intended to disrepute someone. So this is one. Rightly, wrongly, you may say it is wrongly, I am saying rightly. The court of law has passed this judgment. This is one.
Sir,
second,
Dubey, just
we
because
have,
a
just
court
allow me
has
to complete.
pronounced
Allow
a
me to
verdict
complete.
does not
When
make
you,
it right. We live in a democratic setup. You know, just because a court pronounces an order does not make it right. It becomes right only when it is right. We just can't say that a court has held Rahul Gandhi. So let me give you another example. Tomorrow, if Narendra Modi were to make a statement that all Gandhis in this country are thieves, now can a case of defamation be brought against Narendra Modi, and can he be found guilty of defaming Gandhi or any Gandhi for that matter?
You have a right to defend a person where there isn't any ground or evidences available to defend. By making just statements and by creating a story that look, he is not guilty, that will not that set aside the judgment. This is one. Allow me to complete now 30 seconds. Section 499 defamation, my dear sir, says that whoever by words either spoken or intended to be read, or by signs or by visible representation, makes or publishes any imputation concerning any person or the society intending to harm or knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation of person is said, except in the cases which has been
Sir, reputation of an individual person, not generic, not a group of people.
By saying, just let's do not, we will argue in the court here. Let's talk about what the general public can understand. We are discussing the judgment which has been passed by a court of law. Whether the court has pronounced this judgment rightly or wrongly, that will be looked into by the appellate court. The sessions court will look into it by making these statements that look, this is not a common statement. No one, the reputation of nobody has been by this statement has been disreputed. This will come later. Now let us talk about what is the, as of now, the court has held. Court has held that by making this statement, you have not only disreputed Prime Minister, but other Modis who are in this country. By making, supposingly, you are saying that all lawyers are thieves. So lawyers of thieves means I'm a lawyer. You have also caused a disrepute to my image. So whosoever is the image of any person is disrepute has a right to approach to the court of law. Now court deals with these aspects, whether the offense under section 499, 500 IPC is committed or not. If committed, then what are the ingredients? If ingredients have been met out, what should be the quantum of punishment? This is one. And if not met, see in the court, our courts have rightly rejected this aspect as well. Court have also found that, look, there is no, the person's intention was not to commit any kind of disrepute to anybody. So 499, 500 is not applicable here. But here court, since from 2009 till 2013, dealt with this matter, gone through the evidences, gone through the law, and based on that passed this judgment. And now supposingly if court has wrongly passed this judgment, the sessions court will set aside and quash it, and let us see whether the Supreme Court again set a precedent by saying that look, there is no statement made by Mr. Gandhi has not caused any disrepute to anybody, so that will be created as a precedent. We will also cite that in the court of law. But what is the, as of now, the situation is that the court, a court, competent court, has found him guilty, and let's see what will be the outcome.
Well, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, away from the legal tussle, let's cycle back to the politics that's also playing at hand. We've also learned that, well, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party has come out in support of Rahul Gandhi. Do you see, Brijesh, you know, some chess pieces moving in the opposition camp as well?
Well, I don't see chess pieces moving, but what I know for sure is that like this will be music to Congress here, because Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party doesn't hold too high as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned. But the way he has tweeted, he has tweeted about how you know that all the anti-BJP leaders and parties are being targeted by the center. We have differences of opinion with with the Congress party, but the way Rahul Gandhi has been you know, trapped. It was an interesting use of the word trapped in a defamation case is not right, and we respect the court, but we don't agree with the judgment.
Another thing, Brijesh, this is the first reaction which is coming from
Rahul Gandhi. You know, he has said that मेरा धर्म सत्य और अहिंसा पे आधारित है. सत्य मेरा भगवान है, अहिंसा उसे पाने का साधन है. So my religion is based on truth and non-violence, and truth is my God, and non-violence is the way I can achieve. He has said that he's quoted Mahatma Gandhi.
Right, evoking the sentiments of Mahatma Gandhi over there as well. Daniel Francis, political analyst, also with us on the broadcast. Daniel, there's a huge, you know, politics of credibility at play here as well. Take a look at the statements coming from Rahul Gandhi on his Twitter feed. Give us a sense of how you're looking at it. Do you think Rahul Gandhi's been cornered to a point of no return?
I'm quite amused since morning that Rahul Gandhi has been convicted in a defamation case. If defamation law has to be amended, politicians should be definitely barred from using that law against each other, because they are in the business of defamation, and all people and all political parties and all leaders are culpable of it. In earlier times, people would, you know, go and stoop to any levels in criticizing each other politically in public rallies. But politicians never went to court, groups never went to court that were supported by politicians. And we've not seen something like this. In a way, from a political point of view, it looks very petty that, you know, a statement of Rahul Gandhi is now matter of a judicial procedure, and the court convicts him while you know, in India we know that how courts really work and how slow they work and how cases are pending. But you know, it only furthers his point that there is a systematic attack on opposition leaders, and Kejriwal, you see, is jumping into that debate, even though the Congress did not support Sisodia's arrest, but he comes because he knows that this is a plank, this is a plot that can work to further the case of the opposition in the minds of the people, and this will have forget about how insignificant this case is and how innocuous the statement was, but this will this gives a weapon in the hands of opposition. It gives Rahul Gandhi in fact the credibility that he never had. God knows where it is going to lead.
How exactly does it you know, put that credibility cap on Rahul Gandhi now?
Yeah, because he looks like the man who's been persecuted purposefully by the government of the day. Now, people are not going to look at it like there's a court and, you know, some ordinary court is doing, some Gujarat court is doing, some groups are going. No, people don't look at it like that. People know the truth. People know how system works in India. People know how politicians work. When people were hounding, when courts and inquiries were hounding Modi, people did not think that it was fair. It was looked like somebody who's a good man, who's seen as a good administrator, who had no role in a particular controversy has been just hounded, and he used that hounding to his advantage, and became the victim and rose to what he's become. But it had a very big role. This hounding had a very big role. Sonia Gandhi was hounded for being a foreign national. She was stopped from being the prime minister. She was stopped from being, coming to the parliament. A lot of things happened, but in the minds of the people, it worked very differently. I am just assuming that it will work very differently in the minds of people. Rahul Gandhi's conviction is not just the news in India, also the news world over. That what he's saying is that India's democracy is threatened because of the kind of attack that is there on the opposition. It furthers his point. It just solidifies his argument. And the technical part aside, that whether this section is true or that section is true, in general, in the minds of the general public, this will definitely go in the favor of Rahul Gandhi. I think some miscalculation has happened.
Right, and Brijesh, take a look at what Daniel is talking about as well, and that particular sentiment coming from Mahatma Gandhi being evoked at the right time as well. It seems like an opportune movement for the Congress party to pivot now, even as the Aam Aadmi party and the budget, Arvind Kejriwal being cornered, a poster war between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi party. Arvind Kejriwal now extending sort of an olive branch to Rahul Gandhi as well. There is a possibility that the opposition might use this moment as an opportunity.
Well, yes, they will. They will use this as an opportunity because most of the opposition parties are hitting out at the BJP, accusing them of very same things which Arvind Kejriwal has just tweeted. They say that the government is hell-bent on finishing opposition parties, get them trapped by enforcement, raided and trapped by Enforcement Directorate, the Central Bureau of Investigation and other agencies at the disposal of centre. And they are also only the opposition parties are being targeted. So they have found this particular case of Rahul Gandhi as a further illustration of what they have been saying for a long time. See, Mahatma Gandhi is a very experienced, his philosophy is perhaps one of the most experienced factor as far as politics of India is concerned. People just cherry pick whenever they want to buttress home the point. I don't think that, I agree with Ashok that, legally he may get reprieve in the higher court, may not get reprieve in the higher court. The story is not about the legal angle. The story is about the political angle and the political messaging which the BJP would want to drive home about. There's a lot of first for 1.5 weeks has been lost. No work has been done in Parliament, where the Congress party has been talking about JPC to investigate into the scams of Adani and his alleged closeness with the Prime Minister. The BJP has been saying that Rahul Gandhi has insulted the Prime Minister, has insulted the nation, and that is why he should apologize. The BJP will use this particular conviction to further target and isolate Rahul Gandhi inside the parliament. Now chances of any kind of negotiation, or there was an attempt to outreach in the morning when Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar, the chairman of the Raj Sabha, had called for a meeting of all opposition parties. Now chances of any breakthrough looks very, very grim. And BJP right now feels that, after the lull of say 2 or 3 months of Bharat Jodo Yatra, where they were not in a position to attack Rahul Gandhi that much, his comment in London, which they say is an attack on the integrity and the honor of this country and this particular conviction, they will definitely use this to drive home the point that that Rahul Gandhi and they will also they kind of sensed it that people and many opposition leaders, like what Kejriwal said, that that he has been trapped. They knew this, and this is the reason why the majority of the BJP leaders are saying that this is as per the law of the land. BJP has nothing to do with it, and it is the court which found Rahul Gandhi guilty and awarded him sentence of 2 years.
Right, and at the same time, it seems like, Daniel, that Rahul Gandhi in this race against the BJP is lagging quite far behind. What do you think are some options that Rahul Gandhi now has? How can he re-strategize, go back to the drawing board? We had Sanjeev Singh earlier say that there is a lack of political managers who might be able to turn this around for the Congress party. What are some key points that Rahul Gandhi must take note of at the moment?
Oh, Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party is fully capable of missing the bus. They have missed the bus on many other occasions, and how to politically milk this. But for him to be convicted, whether it will be a matter of concern or a public interest and how much it will be, that onus is on the Congress party, and that onus is on Rahul Gandhi. Bharat Jodo Yatra, with all its flips, flops, and ups and downs, was a yatra that established him, as a leader who's serious and who wants to go about, is committed to his cause. Then he made some statements in UK and really put the whole thing in spot. And those statements are now holding the parliament to ransom. So, the diversion was done by Rahul Gandhi himself, and it is he who lost that opportunity. The statement like Sikhs are second grade citizens in India. These statements don't go well with people, particularly at a point when there's a problem in Punjab, and that can brew and become a big issue for the government. So how they use it, that's completely up to them. One is not confident of the fact that they can use it for their own advantage and to further their own interest and cause. But as of now, it's if you really look at it, I think it's a case that should not have been entertained at all, but has been entertained and has been convicted. And because politicians, if you really look at them, they say all kind of things to each other, all kind of things. There are hundreds of statements that tallest of politicians in this country have made, very dirty statements, very personal statements, very this. And, and now when the parliament is not working, only because what Rahul Gandhi has said, it's very funny because Rahul Gandhi is not in government and the parliament is not functioning, becomes an issue. The parliament, to run the parliament, the onus is on the government, not on the opposition. The government wants the parliament, the government wants to run the parliament. Whatever you say about the Hindenburg report, now when we question the credibility of organizations, the Hindenburg report had an impact in India. It had an impact on investors' confidence. It had impact on the stocks. It had impact on investments, and a lot of public undertakings in India are huge.
Well, certainly the impact and the ripples are, you rightly point that out, are far-flung.
It will become an issue for policymakers to discuss. We have discussed financial irregularities of many individuals and many organizations in the past. So, see, I just want to say that, if governments or politicians or opposition leaders, they think that people don't understand what is happening, they are under wrong impression. It gives a very, very wrong impression. A particular party may continuously lose elections, a particular party may continuously win elections. But real issues and public opinion about those real issues constantly remains very, very clear. And I feel that, there is a growing impression that to stall Adani issue, Rahul Gandhi has been shut down. Now, if this perception grows and becomes a reality in the minds of people, I think the government will be in problem.
Well, absolutely. We'll have to wait and watch who's in the wrong, who's in the right in this particular political tussle. But when we're looking at the legal tussle as well, it has been a riveting conversation. We're at a shortage of time here, but quick closing comments from Advocate Dubey over there. Daniel spoke about how politicians are in the business of defamation. There are some real personal things that politicians have over the years said to one another. And there is the idea of an amendment in the, in the mindset of the common people as well. Do you see a time where the defamation law might see or go through changes?
See, look, the changes we need in the criminal law. Why we need not only the Indian Penal Code, but in the Police Act, but the Criminal Procedure Code, all the criminal law, because this was made way back, 100 years back, more than 100 years back in 1860. Now, a lot of water has flown under the bridge. Now we need the law which is relevant as of now and which can be relevant for more than 100 years. This is one. Second, be it the politician or common man or anybody who is so empowered under the constitution or enjoy the immunity, must not violate any law. The message is clear. Laws, the courts of the countries are very transparent, very, they decide any case judiciously based on the evidences. And that, look, this is not the case instituted by anybody who is not a Modi. This case was filed by one Purnesh Modi, who is MLA and former BJP minister of state of Gujarat. So he says when you say surname, individually you comment on a particular caste, particular surname, then the Purnesh Modi's defamation also comes to it. Supposedly tomorrow somebody says that all lawyers are thieves. I, being a lawyer, a student of law, will get offended, and I have every right to approach to the court of law. So this has nothing to do with Mr. Fali Nariman or Mr. Mukul Rohtagi or Mr. Singhvi or Sibbal. I also, as a student of law and a lawyer, have a right to approach to the court of law. This is one. Second, one should use the constitutional freedom within the domain of the law. Constitutional freedom of speech and expression does not mean that we have got right to defame anybody or we have right to use any word, anything against anybody. So that is why one should use the words, the sentences in a dignified manner and which is constitutionally correct.
Well, absolutely, Dubiji. You know the jurisprudence is in fact a grey area about anything. I mean, if there was another lawyer who'd come out and say, well, I understand where the other person is coming from, and I think this is not targeted towards me being a lawyer and being part of that community, that would again open up another debate. But your point has been listened and heard. Many thanks to Daniel Francis and Ashwini Kumar Dubey, to you, Brijesh, as well. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. We're going to slip into a quick break here. News content continues on the other side. Stay tuned to News9 Live. Well, welcome back. You're watching News9 Live. Now, we've seen how the INC continues to pitch issues such as corruption, specifically how economic offenders continue to evade Indian authorities and the alleged concentration of wealth in the hands of just a few. It was, by the way, as part of this rhetoric that Rahul made that problematic remark in that 2019 rally in Karnataka. And as we've seen today, it has clearly backfired. So why does Rahul Gandhi, despite no longer being the president of the Congress, continues to drive its agenda? News9 Plus's documentary, Target Adani 2024, covers exactly just that. Here's a snippet and we'll move on.
अदानी जी पे मैंने आक्रमण किया। मैंने कहा कि अदानी जी 609 नंबर से दूसरे नंबर तक कैसे पहुंचे। सिर्फ एक सवाल पूछा, नरेंद्र मोदी जी, आपका अदानी जी से रिश्ता क्या है? आजादी की लड़ाई भी ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के खिलाफ हुई थी, वो भी एक कंपनी थी।
There's been a massive financial fraud. You know, the biggest one in living memory.
It definitely has a common man's connect because public institutions which the common man has great faith in are involved in it.
How can we keep quiet when this kind of corruption is going on?
In 2018, Rahul Gandhi decided to make Rafale an issue. It did not give Rahul Gandhi and Congress party political dividends. Congress lost. People refused to believe that Narendra Modi is corrupt. Now, a year before the election, again the issue of crony capitalism has come. And the charge is that the government is facilitating trade deals for Gautam Adani. Now, the jury is out whether Rahul Gandhi is going to get political dividends or not. But the fact is, again the issue of corruption, Narendra Modi has surfaced.
The Rafale, while it was an issue, might not have captured the imagination of the people. But this is very different. What is happening now, the fallout of the Hindenburg report about the close association of an industrial group with the Prime Minister and the institutional support this particular industrial group has been consistently getting in spite of very serious allegations, charges which have been leveled against them. I'm not even suggesting that the charges against them are true unless you really have an impartial investigation by the appropriate institutions. We really won't know. But this is very different. It definitely has a common man's connect because public institutions which the common man has great faith in are involved in it. You go talk to people and tell them, you know, how difficult it is for you to get a loan. and they understand the difficulties of even getting a loan for even for a small business. But here we have an industrial house which has been getting thousands and thousands of crores. In fact, 27,000 crores just from the SBI. So there is a big difference. This I think it will be very, very premature for the media to rubbish this issue and say this will have no resonance with the people. I think you will be making a mistake.
How can we keep quiet when this kind of corruption is going on? This kind of issues are taking place. The Prime Minister of country is taking one businessman to abroad and telling the governments to give him all kinds of business. How can we can remain as a mute spectator? We have to raise it.
Rahul Gandhi is pretty desperate, to paint Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a corrupt person, somebody who is doing a quid pro quo with the top industrialist house. And the reason is that, that the image of the Prime Minister is such that to ensure transparency, to ensure that nothing sticks to him. So he has been very successful in projecting that image. And this is the image which Rahul Gandhi wants to tarnish. An unfortunate aspect is that he's been trying too hard as far as to accuse him of being corrupt, and it is not at all succeeding.
This is the textbook template of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. In 2018, similar set of circumstances, one corporation, similar set of facts, alleged facts by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He goes to the Supreme Court of India and he has to apologize to the Supreme Court of India. What all did he not say? But it ended in an apology for which Rahul Gandhi still owes an explanation. This is working exactly in the same manner. There are absolutely no evidence, absolutely no logic, no rationality to these unfounded, unsubstantiated allegations, and this is bound to fail.
Well, so you can catch that documentary on the News9 Plus application on your mobile phones and television screens as well. But let's get the ball rolling. Sanjeev Singh, political analyst, continues to be with us. Sanjeev, we were just, talking about the battle of perceptions as well. We also had Daniel Francis with us just a short while ago, who said that this might be an opportune moment for the Congress to pivot now. Take a look at, the Twitter feed from the Congress party. Jairam Ramesh tweeting out that this is New India, where ED, CBI clamped down on, voices that are speaking up against the government. On the other hand, you've got the Congress party's handle that says, Gandhis are not afraid. Rahul Gandhi evoking some Mahatma Gandhi sentiments as well. Arvind Kejriwal, in the meanwhile, has extended sort of an olive branch as well. And the optics on the outside, even as the Hindenburg has said they're going to be dropping another bomb, proceedings in the parliament have stopped. Just 8 minutes today. 8 minutes is all it took for the parliament to get adjourned. With all of these, aspects moving, give us a sense of how you're looking at this. This is too much to consume in just a 1 day's time.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot happening in 1 day, but you must remember that, see, this is the precursor to the 2024 general election.
Absolutely.
What has Rahul Gandhi done? He went on a huge yatra, and, the Congress has been claiming that the yatra was successful. And then, of course, this is not the first case or controversy that Rahul Gandhi has been involved in. There are many others, and he's got other cases also going on against him. So, these things have been going on, but what the Congress has been looking for so far is a sort of a toe into the door or foothold into the door where they can actually go in and attack the BJP. So far, they've not been successful for, the reasons mentioned by all the experts in the documentary, that clips of the documentary that we saw. But it is also an opportunity for the Congress. How do they use it? Unfortunately for the Congress, they have been in the news for the wrong reasons. Now, it's not just Rahul Gandhi who, attacked Modi the surname rather than Modi the person. We saw a few weeks ago, Pawan Kheda, the head of the media department of the Congress party, making something similar kind of allegations and making fun out of, Narendra Modi's father's name, adding Gautam to it, etc. So, where is the Congress getting it wrong? Because we've seen in the past that if you attack Narendra Modi, the person, then in all likelihood, the issue or the attack is going to boomerang on the opposition. But if you attack him on certain issues, then maybe that's where you get the mileage. As we saw, earlier, like in 2017-18, when we hit the case of GST, when that was happening, that's the time when Rahul Gandhi called it the Gabbar Singh tax. And he talked about the Soot Boot ki Sarkar. They got some mileage and they did well in the 2018 assembly elections where they formed governments in Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh as well. But since then, it has been downhill for the Congress party. So they need to get their act together. You know, they've got a new Congress president, but the entire focus has been on Rahul Gandhi. So Mallikarjun Kharge is doing all the hard work and Rahul Gandhi has been left to do the campaigning. But unfortunately for them, the results have not yet come. Now, this is a big opportunity for the Congress. Can they actually play the victim card and talk about all the things that the opposition parties have been doing about muzzling voices, about corruption, about, you know, any other issue? But if you look at the past few years, we have seen that whenever such kind of issues come up, even though the Congress tries to exploit it, the BJP somehow manages to, you know, shift the narrative or take it to some other place, and the opposition has not been able to capitalize on those issues.
Well, so history certainly is not on the side of the Congress as well. Anila Singh of the BJP joins us on the broadcast as well. Anila ji, I mean, no doubt about the fact that there are going to be smiles and grins across the various BJP offices at the moment. But do you think this is going to push the narrative where, you know, the common citizens then feel that maybe Rahul Gandhi and the Congress are being shushed up? Does it support that narrative?
My Ram to everyone. And if you talk about Bharatiya Janata Party, see, Bharatiya Janata Party has, for us, Rahul Gandhi ji is not such a big figure or such a big identity. He may be for the Congress party. He offended Mr. Pranesh Modi or any person who has the surname of Modi. Mr. Pranesh Modi had filed FIR against him. It went to the court and court has given the verdict. So, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, a General Secretary of Indian National Confused Party, thinks that he is larger than life. So, he has got all the rights to say anything. He thinks that Constitution only gives fundamental rights. He doesn't know that Constitution also tells you about fundamental duties. So, perhaps he doesn't know that. That is why he keeps on offending people. And I think in 2014, 16, 17, 18, you know, many of the defamation cases in these years have been filed against him because he is a habitual offender. See, the basic difference in between Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress Party is that if we talk about Congress Party, whole of the Congress Party is working for one general secretary of it. And if we talk about Bharatiya Janata Party, our general secretaries, they work for the party. So this is the basic difference. For Congress Party, Rahul Gandhi ji is Khuda. So he can do anything. He can say anything about anyone. So he should mind before saying anything, before delivering his dialogue. I think he needs a person who can really put reins on him. What he says, how he insults, that should be stopped.
But Anilji, at the same time, don't you feel that this entire case went out to be a little more personal? There were poster wars in the Gujarat Assembly. We all saw what happened to Arvind Kejriwal's face on various banners. Even recently in Delhi as well, there are other posters against other political parties. No political party is in the clean or in the clear here. Do you think this was made out to be a little more personal than it should have? I mean, all politicians speak, you know, derogatory things about other politicians.
Nobody has stopped anyone to go and file the FIR or to appeal in the court. This is every citizen's right. Every citizen's right. So nobody has stopped them as well. I do not want to get into anything controversial because so many controversial statements had been made. And every day controversial statements are being made. The thing is, I totally respect the verdict which has been given by the court, and it should set an example in front of all those who do not know when to cross the thin line of challenging somebody and insulting somebody.
Absolutely. And this is where the semantics of the case also come about to be. Sanjeev, you know, we had our legal editors. We also had, you know, an advocate from the Supreme Court talk about how defamation is something that politicians, you know, use at free will. And it is the politics of defamation. And should that law be amended? In this case, what Anila ji is also saying, that everybody is free to go and fire and, you know, and file an FIR. this particular case, Pranesh Modi going out, filing a case, and then it was on him, the onus was on him to, well, present before the court that not only him, the entire Modi community was targeted under this particular jibe coming from Rahul Gandhi. Was this case a little more personal? Do you think the semantics of this case and how this case was made up should be questioned as well?
You know, this debate has been on for decades now. It's not the first time that we're seeing something like this, and each case is slightly different from the other, and we all have merits and demerits of the case. But if you look at the larger picture, should you have this kind of a law? Well, that is the debate that we are talking about, because any law is open to misuse, and governments don't differentiate. It could be the BJP government, it could be the Congress government, it could be the Janata Dal government or the United Front government. Governments use laws as per their convenience. So therefore the question is, should you have this or not? Now, personally, if you ask me, I think there is no harm in having these laws. It just depends on how you use them. Now, let's say, for example, that if the Congress party feels that this, the court has gone too far in convicting Rahul Gandhi, then they have access to, taking this matter up. They have a 30-day window. They can take it up to a higher court. They can apply for bail. So there are those, checks and balances in place for them to do so. But imagine a scenario where you don't have a law, and then, then it's just open to, it's a free for all. So therefore, these kind of laws should only be exercised in extremities, and it should be there so that there is some kind of pressure on political parties and politicians to, toe the line. And ultimately, it's politics. And as Anila Singh ji said, that we should know the difference between insulting somebody and criticizing somebody. So, it's an open debate. You will always find takers from both sides. But at the end of the day, our legal system is such that if somebody feels wrong, there are many avenues available and open for them to challenge this and to get the right verdict.
Even as we're looking at these live visuals where the Congress party is now protesting, again with those banners, that democracy is under threat. You spoke about how Rahul Gandhi has been given the charge for all the campaigning, and it's Mallikarjun Kharge who's doing all the heavy and hard lifting behind the scenes. Do you think they should probably reverse their roles, and Rahul Gandhi, maybe because his words are coming back to bite him, stay away from campaigning, stay away from podiums and mics?
I don't see that happening, even though there is some merit in what you say, simply because Mallikarjun Kharge, he's known for for his organizational capabilities, and he's been running the show, and he's a good behind-the-scenes player. So therefore, in his current role, I think he will do a fairly decent job. But somebody from the Congress party has to lead the party, because that is where the glue of the Congress party lies, be it Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi for the moment. So I don't see much change happening. But yes, there have been occasions in the past when perhaps Rahul Gandhi should not have said things that he has said. And even once you say it, and let's say a case is filed in court, if you, if you tell the court that, you're sorry for what you did, and the case falls flat. But, in some cases we have seen that politicians stick to what they have said. And they think that by doing that, they're sending a message that, we are the only ones taking on the current government. Then in that case, it's a very fine line, because then Rahul Gandhi as an individual is deciding that even though I may be on the wrong side of the law for the moment, I will stick to my guns and see how it goes. And that's what's happened in this case. It's not that, Rahul couldn't have taken back his words or issued an apology. But he said that, the Congress party said, we will not take back the words. And therefore, this legal option is coming up. So, in that sense, I don't think there's going to be much change for the Congress party. Rahul Gandhi has just carried out a huge yatra, and that was all done so that, his positioning and his perception amongst the people improves and goes up. So he is clearly the card that the Congress party is betting on, and I don't see much change, at least till the 2024 election.
All right, that's actually quite nicely put, quite eloquently put. Anila Singh ji and Sanjeev, do stay on with us. Some reactions coming across the political spectrum. Let's take a look at those as well.
अब तो हालत ये हो गई है कि इस देश में मोदी जी का नाम लेने से भी मानहानि लोगों की हो जाती है। उन्होंने किस संदर्भ में कहा था वो तो इस बात को देखिए। नीरव मोदी, ललित मोदी, ऐसे और भी मोदी हैं जो कि देश का पैसा लेके भाग गए, उनके बारे में बात कही गई।
ये मुझे लगता है कि राजनीति में इस तरह के केस करना, इस तरह सजा करवाना ये उचित नहीं है। ये बहुत बड़ा अन्याय है। इस तरह की चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए। इसकी हम कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करते हैं।
डेमोक्रेसी के हालात जो देख रहे हैं, क्या हो रहा है डेमोक्रेसी को लेके, लोकतंत्र खतरे में क्यों कह रहे हैं हम लोग। आज जुडिशरी पे दबाव है, इलेक्शन कमीशन दबाव है, ईडी, इनकम टैक्स, सीबीआई, जो प्रीमियर एजेंसी हमारी है उनकी क्रेडिबिलिटी बहुत बड़ी रहती थी आज तक, उसका दुरुपयोग हो रहा है, जम करके हो रहा है। तो जो ऐसा माहौल बनता है तो ऐसे फैसले होते हैं। हर फैसला प्रभावित होते ही होता है। वही माहौल बन गया, वही माहौल बन गया है। और राहुल गांधी जी के ये जो कमेंट है, ये तो पॉलिटिकल कमेंट चलते रहते हैं। हम तो 40-50 साल से देखते हैं ऐसे पॉलिटिकल कमेंट। पता नहीं वाजपेयी जी ने, अडवाणी जी ने कितने किए होंगे, कोई सोच नहीं सकता। वो जमाना और था, ये जमाना और, इतना फर्क है।
13 अप्रैल 2019 लोकसभा के चुनाव के दरमियान कर्नाटक स्टेट में बेंगलुरु से 100 किलोमीटर दूर कोलार में कांग्रेस के तत्कालीन प्रमुख श्रीमान राहुल गांधी द्वारा जो सभा आयोजित की गई, उनमें उनका भाषण था, सभी चोरों का उपनाम मोदी क्यों, और भी ढूंढो कितने मोदी निकलेंगे। इस अनुसंधान में यहां सूरत की कोर्ट में फरियाद की गई। आज उनका जो फैसला आया है, मैं उस फैसला का स्वागत करता हूं।
से भी बड़ा अपराध जो राहुल गांधी जी ने किया है, पूरे देश की गरिमा, सार्वभौमिकता और लोकतंत्र को अपमानित करने का प्रयास विदेश की धरती से जो किया है, वो मेरे विचार से अक्षम्य है। हो सकता है यहां पर उन्हें माफी मांगकर कुछ राहत मिल जाए, परंतु देश से तो उनको बगैर शर्त माफी मांगनी ही पड़ेगी। तो एक पंक्ति में मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि राहुल गांधी जी राजनैतिक ही नहीं, नैतिक ही नहीं, इस घटना से दिखाई पड़ता है कि न्यायिक यानी लीगली भी अपना आधार खो रहे हैं। ही इज लूजिंग ग्राउंड बोथ ऑन द पॉलिटिकल, मॉरल एंड लीगल एस्पेक्ट।
Well, all right, words coming from the politicians as well. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, her particular tweet on your screens at this point in time. The whole machinery of scared power is trying to suppress the voice of Rahul Gandhi by imposing price, punishment, and discrimination. My brothers have never been afraid, nor will they ever be. Another word coming from the Congress party. Anila Singh continues to be with us on the broadcast. Anila ji, take a look at what the Congress is now doing on the microblogging website, saying that Rahul Gandhi ji hasn't lost his conviction. He will continue to speak up. He is the chair of Congress. And at the same time, the trust factor of all these central agencies, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, and the trust factor that the people have on these agencies, the Congress is alleging that is diminishing by the day, and hence putting the democracy under threat. Is there any weightage at all to this argument from where you're looking at things? The ED and CBI, this government, that government, these central agencies will stay on, right?
So let this Congress party keep on thinking that Rahul Gandhi ji is a sher. So the thing is, whether he is a paper tiger or he is a real tiger, which we can very well see in the elections. We have seen that in the latest thing is that in 3 states they got such bad defeat. So this paper tiger cannot be the real tiger. But let them keep on thinking that way. मन को बहलाने के लिए ख्याल अच्छा है गालिब. But I was waiting for this particular statement to come from Congress leaders that even judiciary is compromised. Just now we heard Mr. Gehlot saying that judiciary is compromised, judiciary is under pressure. I mean, there is a height of something. You are saying agencies are compromised, election commission is compromised, judiciary is compromised, there is no democracy. I mean, what you're saying? You are insulting a nation our constitution time and again, time and again, time and again. And they are not even a bit sorry about it. The reality is, people of this great country understands the mindset of this confused party, and they know it. They should not be ever brought in power in the center, because they will keep on insulting our nation. A person who doesn't even thinks that India is a nation, how he can stand for it, he will keep on doing, saying such offending statements, and all the offending actions as well. So let him keep on doing that. I will say that if any person who thinks that election commission is compromised or any of these central agencies are compromised, then they can go ahead and appeal in court as well. They do not do it. They are demanding for the JPC, but they do not want to appeal to the court. The reality is, they know it very well, that whatever they say, whatever they do, it doesn't have any concrete ground.
Well, the people of this great country, I'm not too sure, Anlaji, if I can stick out my neck and say they do understand the shenanigans the Congress is, like you're talking about, is putting across. But the people of this great country would always expect, be it the BJP or the Congress in the opposition, to be ever suspicious of the ruling government. And at the same time, there has been a riveting conversation. We've got, Mahatma Gandhi's words and Ghalib all together being evoked in the same timeline. We'll have to wait and watch what happens to Rahul Gandhi and BJP and the proceedings in the parliament. What of this Hindenburg bomb that is being suspected as well, and Ravi Shankar Prasad, who's going to be addressing a press conference really soon. All eyes on that. On that note, Anila Singh ji and Sanjeev Singh, many thanks for joining us and helping us out with your insightful inputs. We're going to be slipping into a quick break here. News content continues on the other side. Stay tuned to News 9 Live.